Stop scrolling, my child. Do not move on to the next video. Do not let your attention drift away for even a moment, because what is happening right now is not an accident. This is not another random message appearing on your screen. This is not coincidence. This is not luck. Heaven has been trying to reach you, and today, you finally stopped long enough to listen. I need you to hear me carefully. Before this day began, before you opened your phone, before you clicked on this message, I already knew this moment would come. I saw every thought that passed through your mind. I saw the questions you have been carrying. I saw the burdens weighing down your heart. I saw the silent prayers you whispered when no one else was around. And now I am speaking directly to you. Yes, you, the one who has been feeling exhausted, the one who has been trying to stay strong while secretly falling apart inside, the one who has been asking, Lord, where are you? Do you still see me? Do you still hear me? My child, I have heard every word. Not one prayer has been ignored. Not one tear has fallen without my notice. Not one sleepless night has passed without my presence beside you. You have been looking for answers. You have been waiting for direction. You have been asking for a sign that I am still working in your life. And I tell you now with all the authority of heaven, this message is that sign. That uneasy feeling in your spirit is not your imagination. That pull you feel right now is not random. I am calling your attention because there is something you need to hear before you move forward. Do not dismiss this moment. Do not tell yourself that this message is meant for someone else. It is for you. I brought you here because your heart has been carrying more than it was ever meant to carry alone. You have been fighting battles that nobody knows about. You have smiled when you wanted to cry. You have kept moving when every part of you wanted to give up. And yet, despite everything, you are still here. That is not because you are holding yourself together. It is because I have been holding you. Listen carefully, my beloved. The season you have been walking through is not the end of your story. The silence is about to make sense. The waiting is about to reveal its purpose. The doors that seemed permanently closed will not remain closed forever. But before I show you what is coming next, I need your full attention. Stay with me. Do not scroll away, because heaven has been trying to reach you, and what I am about to tell you could change the way you see this entire season of your life. My beloved child, before I speak about where I am leading you, I need you to understand something that your heart has struggled to believe for a long time. I saw your pain, not part of it, not some of it, all of it. I saw the tears you wiped away before anyone could notice. I saw the moments when you smiled in public but felt broken in private. I saw the conversations you replayed in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. I saw the disappointment that settled into your heart when things did not unfold the way you prayed they would. You may have hidden your pain from the people around you, but you could never hide it from me. I saw the nights when sleep would not come. The nights when your mind raced from one worry to another. The nights when fear sat beside you and whispered lies about your future. You tried to be strong. You tried to convince yourself that everything would be fine. Yet deep inside there were moments when you felt overwhelmed by the weight you were carrying. I saw every one of those moments. I saw the tears that never fell because you were trying so hard to hold yourself together. I saw the prayers that never left your lips because you did not know how to put your pain into words. I saw the loneliness that followed you even when you were surrounded by people. And my child, I need you to hear this clearly. You never suffered alone. The enemy wanted you to believe that nobody understood what you were going through. He wanted you to think that your struggles were invisible and that your pain did not matter. He tried to convince you that you were forgotten, but that was never the truth. I was there when your heart broke. I was there when people disappointed you. I was there when doors closed unexpectedly. I was there when you felt rejected, overlooked, and misunderstood. Every time you thought, nobody knows what I'm carrying, I knew. Every time you whispered, I can't do this anymore, I heard you. Every time you wondered if anyone cared, I was already near. You see, my child, many people only see the version of you that you allow them to see. They see your smile. They see your strength. They see your ability to keep moving forward. But I see deeper. I see the wounds you rarely talk about. I see the disappointments you still carry. I see the memories that sometimes return when you least expect them. I see the fears you try to bury. I see the questions you are afraid to ask. Nothing about you is hidden from me. Not your pain, not your confusion, not your regrets, not your tears. And despite seeing every broken place within you, I have never stopped loving you. Think about that for a moment. I know everything about you, yet I still choose you. I still call you mine. I still walk beside you. I still have a purpose for your life. The mistakes did not disqualify you. The failures did not remove my hand from your life. The disappointments did not cancel your future. My child, the pain you have been carrying is real. I am not asking you to pretend otherwise. I am not telling you that the wounds did not hurt. I am not dismissing the battles you have fought. I am simply reminding you that your pain is not the whole story. What you are feeling today is not the final chapter. What wounded you will not define you forever. What broke your heart will not have the last word. Because while you were focused on the pain, I was watching over you. While you were struggling to understand what was happening, I was protecting you from things you could not see. And while you were wondering where I was closer than your next breath, carrying you through every difficult step. So, stop believing the lie that you are unseen. Stop believing the lie that you are forgotten. Stop believing the lie that nobody understands. I understand. I always have. And before this message is over, I am going to show you why every tear, every battle, and every painful season mattered more than you realize. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand because it has troubled your heart for far too long. You mistook my silence for my absence. You thought that because you could not hear me, I was no longer speaking. You thought that because you could not see movement, nothing was happening. You thought that because the answer had not arrived yet, I had forgotten your prayer. But hear me now. My silence was never my absence. Not once. Not for a single day. Not for a single moment. There were seasons when you cried out to me and heard nothing in return. You opened your heart before me and waited for direction. You searched for signs. You looked for confirmation. Yet all you seemed to find was silence. And that silence hurt. It tested your faith. It challenged everything you thought you knew about me. There were moments when you wondered, Lord, where are you? Moments when you questioned whether I was still listening. Moments when you looked at your circumstances and thought that perhaps I had moved on while you remained stuck. But my child, I never left. While you were waiting, I was working. While you were questioning, I was preparing. While you were struggling to understand what was happening, I was arranging things beyond your sight. You see, I often do my greatest work in places human eyes cannot see. A seed grows underground before it breaks through the surface. A foundation is built before the house appears. Preparation always comes before revelation. Yet because you could not see what I was doing, you assumed nothing was happening. That was never true. Every prayer you prayed was heard. Every tear you shed was collected. Every moment you spent waiting was being woven into a greater purpose. There were doors you begged me to open that I kept closed because I was protecting you. There were opportunities you desperately wanted that I did not allow because I saw what was ahead. There were people you wanted to keep in your life whom I quietly removed because they could not go where I was taking you. At the time, it felt like loss. At the time, it felt like disappointment. At the time, it felt like silence. But now I tell you the truth. My silence was often protection. My silence was often preparation. My silence was often mercy. Had I answered some prayers exactly when you wanted, you would have stepped into things that were not meant for you. Had I removed every obstacle immediately, you would not have developed the strength you carry today. Had I explained every detail, you would have relied on understanding instead of faith. So I remained quiet. Not because I did not care, not because I was distant, but because I was working on something bigger than you could see. My child, look back over your life for a moment. Remember situations that once felt devastating. Remember prayers that seemed unanswered. Remember opportunities that slipped away. How many times did you later discover that what felt like rejection was actually protection? How many times did you realize that what appeared to be a closed door saved you from unnecessary pain? How many times did you look back and finally understand why I said no? You see, even when you could not trace my hand, you could trust my heart. I have never stopped working for your good. Even now, while you listen to these words, There are things moving in your favor that you cannot yet see. Conversations are taking place. Circumstances are shifting. Paths are being cleared. Obstacles are being removed. Timing is being aligned. What appears still from your perspective is often moving powerfully from mine. So stop interpreting delay as denial. Stop assuming silence means abandonment. Stop believing that nothing is happening. Something is happening, more than you know, more than you can currently understand. And soon, what I have been building in secret will begin to reveal itself in ways that leave no doubt that I was with you the entire time. The silence was never my absence. It was evidence that I was working where only I could work. And my child, what I have been preparing is closer than you think. My beloved child, there is a truth you must understand if you are ever going to see your struggles through the eyes of heaven. The attacks against your life were never random. The battles were not meaningless. The opposition was not accidental. The enemy attacked what he feared most. He saw something in you long before you saw it yourself. He recognized potential that you could not yet recognize. He saw purpose before you understood your calling. He saw destiny before you could imagine your future. That is why the battle became so intense. You have often wondered why certain seasons felt harder than they should have been. You looked around and saw other people moving forward while you seemed to be fighting one obstacle after another. You questioned why disappointments kept appearing, why setbacks seemed to follow victories, why fear tried to invade your thoughts whenever you were about to take a step forward. My child, the enemy does not waste his energy attacking what poses no threat. He attacks what he fears. He resists what carries purpose. He targets what has the potential to impact lives beyond itself. And whether you realized it or not, your life has always carried more purpose than you could see. Think about everything you survived, the heartbreaks that should have destroyed you, the disappointments that should have made you quit, the betrayals that should have hardened your heart. Yet somehow, despite it all, you are still here, still believing, still seeking, still listening. That alone should tell you something. The enemy tried to stop you because he could not stop what I placed inside you. Again and again, he whispered lies. You are not enough. You will never change. You will never recover. Your best days are behind you. He hoped that if he could not destroy your destiny, he could at least convince you to abandon it. He wanted you to surrender before the breakthrough arrived. He wanted you to quit before the harvest came. He wanted you to walk away before the door opened. But you are still standing, not because the attacks were weak, not because the storms were small, but because my hand has remained upon your life. Every battle that came against you revealed something important. It revealed that there was something worth fighting over. There was something valuable inside you, something heaven placed within you that darkness could never fully extinguish. The enemy saw your future and became afraid. He saw the healing that would come through your testimony. He saw the strength that would be born from your struggle. He saw the faith that would emerge from your trials. He saw the people who would one day be encouraged because you refused to give up. That is why the pressure increased. That is why fear attacked your mind. That is why discouragement tried to settle over your spirit. The closer you moved toward what I prepared for you, the louder the resistance became. But hear me carefully, my child. The battle was never proof that I abandoned you. The battle was proof that something significant was ahead. The resistance was not evidence of failure. It was evidence of purpose. And now the enemy is afraid because you are beginning to understand this truth. When you stop interpreting every struggle as defeat, his lies lose their power. When you stop measuring your future by your current circumstances, his strategies begin to fail. When you realize that I have been working through every trial, fear can no longer control you. So do not look at your scars with shame. Look at them as evidence that you survived. Do not look at your battles as proof that you are cursed. Look at them as proof that your story is not ordinary. You are still here because I have preserved you. You are still standing because I have sustained you. And what the enemy feared most is beginning to happen right now. You are waking up to who you truly are. You are starting to see yourself through my eyes. And once that happens, my child, everything begins to change. My beloved child, listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you is important. You are standing at a divine crossroad. This is not just another day in your life. This is not another ordinary season. This is a moment of decision, a moment that carries greater weight than you realize. For a long time, you have been asking me for direction. You have prayed for clarity. You have searched for confirmation. You have wondered what comes next and whether the path ahead is truly the one I prepared for you. And now I tell you, you have arrived at a turning point. The season behind you cannot go with you where I am leading you. The old mindset cannot enter the new season. The old fears cannot cross into the future I am preparing. The old doubts cannot continue controlling your decisions. You have been standing between what was and what is coming, between familiar territory and promised territory, between comfort and calling, between fear and faith. And now the time has come to move forward. My child, many people spend their lives standing at the doorway of opportunity without ever walking through it. They wait until they feel completely ready. They wait until every question is answered. They wait until every uncertainty disappears. But faith has never worked that way. Faith takes the step before the entire path is visible. Faith trusts me when understanding is incomplete. Faith moves when I say move. You have spent enough time looking backward. You have spent enough time replaying old disappointments. You have spent enough time questioning whether you are capable. The future I prepared for you cannot be reached while your eyes remain fixed on yesterday. I know change can feel frightening. I know uncertainty can make you hesitate. I know there is a part of you that wants guarantees before taking the next step. But hear me carefully. The same God who carried you through every previous battle will carry you through this one. The same God who protected you in the storm will protect you on the journey ahead. The same God who sustained you in the waiting season will sustain you in the season of movement. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to trust the one who does. There are opportunities approaching that require courage. There are decisions approaching that require faith. There are doors opening that require obedience. And if you allow fear to make your decisions, you may remain standing where I never intended you to stay. The enemy wants hesitation. The enemy wants delay. The enemy wants you to keep questioning yourself until the moment passes. But I am calling you to something greater. I am calling you to trust. Trust that I have gone before you. Trust that I have prepared the way. Trust that what I am leading you toward is greater than what you are leaving behind. This crossroad is not punishment. It is promotion. It is evidence that you have grown beyond the season that once held you. It is proof that the lessons, the struggles, the waiting, and the refining were not wasted. They prepared you for this moment. And now, I am asking you to make a choice. Will you continue listening to fear, or will you trust my voice? Will you remain in the familiar, or will you step into the future I have been preparing? My child, I would not bring you this far to abandon you now. I did not preserve you through every battle just to leave you standing at the edge of your breakthrough. The crossroad before you is real. The opportunity before you is real. The new season before you is real. And though you may not see every detail yet, I already see the entire road ahead. So take my hand. Lift your eyes. Leave the past where it belongs. Because the next chapter of your life begins with a decision. And that decision starts now. My beloved child, before we continue, I want you to pause for a moment. If these words have touched your heart, if you feel my presence speaking to you through this message, do not stay silent. Type Amen in the comments as a declaration of faith. Not because I need to see it, but because sometimes your breakthrough begins with your agreement. Sometimes faith grows when you publicly declare, Lord, I trust you, even when I cannot see the whole picture. And if this message is encouraging you today, take a moment to like this video. By doing so, you may help someone else who is carrying a heavy burden find the very word they need to hear. Most importantly, stay with me until the end. Do not leave yet. The message I am about to share may be exactly what your heart has been waiting for. What seems delayed is closer than you think, and what I am preparing for your life is greater than you can imagine. Keep listening, my child. I am not finished speaking. My beloved child, after all the waiting, all the questioning, and all the seasons that tested your faith, I need you to hear what I am about to say. The door you have been waiting for is opening, perhaps not in the way you expected, perhaps not according to your timeline, but according to my perfect timing. For so long it felt as though every door remained shut, every opportunity seemed delayed, every answer appeared out of reach. You knocked, and heard nothing. You prayed and saw little change. You waited and wondered whether anything would ever move. But my child, a closed door is not always a permanent door. Sometimes it is simply a door waiting for the right time. You were asking for access while I was still preparing you for what was behind it. You were asking for promotion while I was building the character needed to sustain it. You were asking for increase while I was strengthening your foundation. Had I opened certain doors too soon, the blessing might have become a burden. Had I released certain opportunities before their time, they could have harmed you instead of helping you. That is why I asked you to wait. Not to punish you, not to frustrate you, but to prepare you. My child, many things have been happening behind the scenes that you could not see. While you were praying, I was arranging. While you were waiting, I was positioning. While you were wondering if anything was changing, I was aligning people, circumstances, opportunities, and timing in ways only I can. What seemed delayed was being developed. What seemed hidden was being prepared. What seemed impossible was quietly moving toward fulfillment. And now the season is beginning to shift. You may already sense it. A stirring in your spirit. A growing expectation. A feeling that something is changing even though you cannot fully explain it. That is because the atmosphere around your life is not the same as it was before. The season of endless waiting is giving way to the season of movement. The season of confusion is giving way to the season of clarity. The season of planting is moving toward the season of harvest. Do not allow fear to keep you standing outside the very door you prayed for. When the opportunity comes, do not hesitate. When I create an opening, do not doubt yourself. When I call you forward, do not let insecurity hold you back. You have spent enough time believing you are not ready. You have spent enough time questioning whether you are qualified. You have spent enough time measuring yourself against other people. The door opens because of my favor, not because of your perfection. The opportunity comes because of my purpose, not because you earned it. The breakthrough arrives because of my faithfulness, not because you never struggled. My child, there are blessings ahead that your current perspective cannot fully comprehend. There are prayers that are closer to being answered than you realize. There are things I have promised that are moving toward fulfillment, even now. Do not give up a few steps before the breakthrough. Do not abandon your faith while the answer is on its way. Do not allow discouragement to convince you that nothing is changing. Something is changing. The door is opening. The path is becoming clear. The season is shifting. And soon you will look back on this moment and realize that what seemed like a delay was actually divine preparation for something greater than you ever imagined. So lift your head, my beloved. Stay expectant. Stay faithful. Stay ready. Because the door you have been waiting for is no longer merely a promise. It is beginning to open. My beloved child, now that the door is beginning to open, I must give you a warning. Do not return to what I delivered you from. Do not go back to the place where fear ruled your thoughts. Do not return to the mindset that convinced you that you were powerless. Do not rebuild what I called you to leave behind. The enemy knows he cannot stop what I am preparing for you, so he will attempt something else. He will try to pull you backward. He will try to make the familiar seem attractive again. He will whisper that nothing has changed. He will tempt you to return to old habits, old wounds, old patterns of thinking, and old places where you once felt trapped. Be careful, my child. Not every open door is from me. Not every familiar voice deserves your attention. Not every opportunity belongs in your future. You have fought too hard to return to the very things that once kept you bound. Remember how far you have come. Remember the battles you survived. Remember the nights you cried out for freedom. Remember the prayers you prayed when you begged me to change your life. Why would you go back now? The season ahead requires a new version of you. The person I am calling you to become cannot continue agreeing with the lies that once controlled your life. You cannot walk into freedom while holding on to chains. You cannot embrace healing while continually reopening old wounds. You cannot enter a new season while refusing to release the old one. There are relationships I asked you to leave behind. There are fears I asked you to surrender. There are regrets I asked you to release. Yet sometimes you are tempted to revisit them because they are familiar. My child, familiar does not always mean safe. Comfortable does not always mean right. And easy does not always mean blessed. Trust me when I tell you that where I am leading you is better than where you have been. The future I prepared is greater than the past you keep revisiting. The purpose ahead is more valuable than the comfort behind. Do not allow nostalgia to become a trap. Do not romanticize seasons that caused you pain. Do not forget how much you prayed for the freedom you now possess. The enemy wants you distracted by what was. I want you focused on what is coming. Lift your eyes. The journey is not behind you. It is ahead of you. The breakthrough is not in the past. It is in front of you. The blessing is not attached to what you left behind. It is connected to where I am leading you. My child, I know change can feel uncomfortable. Growth often requires leaving familiar ground. But every step of obedience creates room for greater blessing. Every act of faith moves you closer to your purpose. Every decision to trust me strengthens the foundation of your future. So when fear tells you to go back, keep moving forward. When doubt tells you to quit, keep believing. When old habits call your name, remember who you are now. You are not the same person you used to be. You have grown. You have learned. You have been refined through fire. And the lessons of the last season were never meant to imprison you. They were meant to prepare you. Do not return to what I delivered you from. Stand firm. Keep walking. Because the road ahead carries promises that the road behind could never provide. And what I am about to do in your life is worth every step of faith it takes to reach it. My beloved child, if only you could see what I see. If only you could glimpse the future I am preparing beyond the limitations of your current circumstances. You have spent so much time focusing on what was lost, what was delayed, and what did not happen that you have struggled to imagine what is still possible. But I tell you now, what I am preparing will exceed your expectations. You have asked me for certain things. You have prayed specific prayers. You have imagined particular outcomes. Yet many times, your vision has been smaller than my plan. You asked for relief, but I am preparing restoration. You asked for provision, but I am preparing abundance. You asked for an opportunity, but I am preparing a new season. You asked me to solve a problem, while I have been preparing to transform your life. My child, I am not limited by what you currently see. I am not restricted by the obstacles in front of you. I am not intimidated by the challenges that seem impossible. What looks impossible to you remains possible to me. What appears delayed to you remains perfectly timed to me. What feels broken to you can still be redeemed by me. There are blessings ahead that your present understanding cannot fully grasp. There are answers on the way that will make sense of things that currently seem confusing. There are opportunities approaching that will reveal why certain doors had to remain closed. One day you will look back and realize that many of the things you once mourned were actually making room for something greater. You thought you were losing. I was repositioning. You thought you were being overlooked. I was preparing. You thought you had reached the end of the road. I was creating a new path. My beloved, do not underestimate what I can do with the pieces of a life surrendered to me. I can restore confidence where fear once lived. I can bring peace where anxiety once ruled. I can create beauty from seasons that seemed wasted. I can use pain to produce wisdom. I can use delays to create strength. I can use every battle you endured to prepare you for victories you have not yet imagined. The story is not ending where you thought it would. The chapter you are currently living is not the final chapter. There is more ahead. More healing, more growth, more purpose, more joy, more peace, more fulfillment. And the reason the enemy fought so hard against you is because he never wanted you to reach this season. He wanted you to quit before you saw the harvest. He wanted you to abandon your faith before the breakthrough arrived. He wanted discouragement to steal what perseverance would eventually reveal. But you are still here. You kept going. You kept believing. And because you did, you are moving closer to what I have been preparing all along. So stop limiting your future based on your past experiences. Stop assuming tomorrow must look like yesterday. Stop measuring my promises against your current circumstances. Lift your eyes higher. Think bigger. Trust deeper. For what I am preparing is not merely enough. It is not merely acceptable. It is not merely survival. It is greater than you expected, greater than you imagined, greater than you prayed for. And when the fullness of it arrives, you will understand why I asked you to trust me during every season of waiting. Hold on a little longer, my child. The best of this story has not yet been written. My beloved child, there is one final truth I want you to hold tightly in your heart. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. I know there were moments when you felt like giving up, moments when the waiting felt endless and the answers seemed distant. You looked at your circumstances and wondered if anything would ever change. You questioned whether your prayers were making a difference. You wondered if the season you were in would become permanent. But hear me clearly. Do not quit now. Do not surrender now. Do not walk away now. You are closer than you realize. Many people give up just before the breakthrough arrives. They become so focused on how long they have waited that they fail to recognize the signs of movement around them. They mistake the final stretch of the journey for another delay. Do not make that mistake. The seeds you planted in faith are still growing. The prayers you prayed are still working. The promises I spoke are still alive. Nothing has been forgotten. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has escaped my attention. Even now, I am bringing things together in ways you cannot fully see. Pieces that once seemed disconnected are beginning to align. Situations that looked hopeless are being touched by my hand. What appeared impossible is moving toward fulfillment according to my perfect timing. My child, faith is often tested most intensely right before the answer appears. The darkness often seems deepest before the dawn. The pressure often feels strongest before the breakthrough. That is why you must remain steadfast. Keep praying. Keep trusting. Keep believing. Do not allow temporary circumstances to convince you that permanent defeat is your future. Your story is still unfolding. Your purpose is still alive. Your season is still changing. And the God who carried you through every storm is still working on your behalf. One day, very soon, you will look back at this season and realize that I was far closer than you thought. You will see how every delay had a purpose, every struggle produced strength, and every step of faith moved you nearer to the blessing I had prepared. So lift your head, my beloved. Take courage. Stand firm, because the breakthrough you have been praying for is not as far away as it seems. It is closer than you think. My beloved child, as we come to this moment, I want you to pause and reflect on everything I have spoken to your heart. You are not here by accident. You were never forgotten. You were never abandoned. Even when you could not see me, I was there. Even when you could not hear me, I was speaking. Even when you thought nothing was happening, I was working behind the scenes for your good. Now you understand why I brought you here today. This message was never about a random moment on your screen. It was about an appointment, a divine appointment, a moment I prepared long before you ever arrived. I wanted to remind you of who you are, not who fear says you are, not who failure says you are, not who your past says you are, but who I say you are. You are loved. You are chosen. You are seen. You are carried by a God who has never stopped fighting for you. The battles you faced did not destroy your purpose. The delays did not cancel your destiny. The tears did not weaken your future. In fact, many of the things that seemed to be working against you were quietly working for you. They were shaping your character, strengthening your faith, preparing your heart, teaching you to trust me in ways you never could have learned otherwise. My child, there comes a time when you must stop looking at what is behind you and begin embracing what is ahead. That time is now. Do not spend another season doubting what I have already spoken. Do not spend another season agreeing with fear. Do not spend another season living beneath the purpose I created you for. Lift your eyes. The story is not over. The chapter that hurt you is not the final chapter. The season that tested you is not the season that will define you. A new chapter is beginning. A chapter marked by deeper faith, greater peace, stronger confidence, and a clearer understanding of my presence in your life. Years from now, you may look back on this very moment and realize that it was a turning point. Not because everything changed overnight, but because your heart changed. Your perspective changed. Your faith grew stronger. And once your faith becomes stronger than your fear, everything begins to move differently. So receive this word today. Hold on to it. Carry it with you. Because the God who has carried you this far is not finished writing your story. And what comes next will reveal that every step of the journey had a purpose. My beloved child, before this message comes to an end, I want you to hold one final truth deep within your heart. One day, you will remember this moment. You will remember the day when hope began to rise again. You will remember the day when fear no longer had the final word. You will remember the day when you chose to trust me even though you could not yet see the outcome. Right now, some things may still feel uncertain. Some questions may remain unanswered. Some prayers may still seem to be waiting for their fulfillment. But do not let what you cannot see cause you to forget what I have spoken. I am still with you. I am still guiding you. I am still working in ways beyond your understanding. The road ahead may not always be easy, but you will not walk it alone. Every step will be covered by my grace. Every challenge will be met with my strength. Every obstacle will become an opportunity for you to see my faithfulness in a deeper way. My child, this is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of a new chapter. The chapter of fear is closing. The chapter of endless doubt is ending. The chapter of believing you were forgotten is coming to an end. A new chapter is opening. A chapter where your faith grows stronger than your circumstances. A chapter where your confidence is rooted in my promises rather than your fears. A chapter where you begin to see the evidence of everything I have been doing behind the scenes. So when difficult days come, remember this moment. When doubts try to return, remember this moment. When the waiting feels long, remember this moment. Remember that I spoke to your heart. Remember that I called you by name. Remember that I reminded you that you are loved, chosen, protected, and never alone. And one day, when you see how I brought everything together, you will look back and understand that this moment was not an accident. It was part of the story I was writing all along. Heavenly Father, today we come before you with humble hearts, grateful for your love, your mercy, and your unfailing presence. Lord, thank you for reminding us that we are never alone. Thank you for seeing every tear, hearing every prayer, and carrying us through every battle we have faced. Even in the seasons when we could not see your hand, you were working for our good. Father, I pray for every person listening to this message. Fill their heart with peace where there has been anxiety. Fill them with hope where there has been discouragement. Fill them with strength where there has been weariness. Help them release every fear, every burden, and every doubt into your hands. Remind them that their future is secure in you and that your plans are greater than anything they can imagine. Lord, give them courage to walk through the doors you are opening. Give them wisdom to follow your direction and faith to trust you when the path ahead is unclear. May every lie of fear be replaced with your truth. May every wound begin to heal through your love. May every waiting season produce deeper trust and stronger faith. Father, thank you for never leaving us and never forsaking us. We place our lives, our families, our dreams, and our future into your hands. We trust you, we follow you, and we receive your peace today. In Jesus' name, Amen. My beloved child, if this message spoke to your heart today, do not leave without making a declaration of faith. Right now, type these words in the comments. Lord, I trust your timing. Let that declaration be a reminder that you are choosing faith over fear, trust over doubt, and hope over discouragement. And if this message encouraged you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Each message shared here is created to bring hope, strengthen faith, and remind people that God is still speaking, still guiding, and still working in their lives. Most importantly, share this message with someone who may be struggling today. You never know whose heart needs this encouragement right now. One simple share could help someone find peace, hope, and renewed faith in a difficult season. Remember, my child, you are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not alone. God sees you. God loves you. God is working for your good. Hold on to his promises. Keep moving forward in faith. And never forget, the breakthrough is closer than you think. May God bless you abundantly, and may his peace remain with you always.